Our next guest is Paul Krein, Vice President of Cloud and Digital Solutions at Red River. So, Paul, we've talked about security inside of the building. We've talked about remote employees and deployable solutions. How does cloud actually fit in all of this?
Well, so cloud is important to both the workforce and the agencies themselves. The agencies really have to think about not only how they're going to attract and retain new workers, but how they're going to get more productivity out of them, given the increased demand that's being placed upon IT. This demand is really getting accentuated by not only the new technologies, but thinking about the types of content, as we heard earlier, that the users are looking to have delivered to them, content-rich, information-rich, in situational aspects so that the details match the activity that they're doing. And now we've added to that machine and other sensor data. So the amount of demand upon IT is just growing tremendously. But for the users, they really are thinking about, how do I have a place I'm going to work, have IT capabilities as good as, if not better, than what I'm used to at home. They want faster time to a solution, as we mentioned, content rich, but they also want to have it really easy to use and really easy to adopt. And this is a new culture of workers who's used to saying, if I find one app that doesn't work well for me, I'll just go on to the next one. So they're expecting that same flexibility at work for the technologies and the tools that they're given.
So how does agencies use the cloud to be more competitive on the workforce front?
Well, cloud's going to help them automate the mundane activities that workers are doing today. Many CIOs are faced with the challenge of having 60, 70, and some 80+% of their budgets spent just on the operational aspects of the systems they already have, just keeping the lights on, if you will. And they are not spending enough around innovation, training, and retaining the workforce and the skill sets they're going to need to go forward. Instead, cloud can help both the CIO and the mission groups focus those skills of the people that they do have on specific mission outcomes. It allows them to free up some of their time and through automation and orchestration, provide a more secure and standardized deployment of the system's needs in a faster time cycle as well. New workers are looking for a place to try out new technologies. They want to work on the latest or the current technologies in the marketplace. And then if one doesn't fit, they want the flexibility and the agility from IT to try the next tool to get their job done and figure out different ways to collaborate with their peers as well.
So with all the legacy IT that's out there, and we have a young workforce trying to come in that has all the expectations, as you mentioned, how are the government agencies going to pivot and get into cloud that quickly?
The government agencies' biggest challenges are really around acquisition and policy. So the technology is not an issue, and it's adopting the business model, understanding that they're going to be renting resources, in some cases not just capacity, but also capabilities from the marketplace. So looking at how they do acquisitions today and understanding what they're trying to buy based on the mission outcome that they want. It's a new conversation many times for the mission in IT to get down to the crux of what the outcome or problem is that they're trying to solve for, and then looking at the market to see if somebody offers the capabilities as a prepackaged or pre-integrated solution rather than having to roll their own or build their own every time. Many solutions are now out there around human capital and finance type work, analytics, where you can just subscribe, bring your data, bring your users, as opposed to having to specify hardware, software, systems components, architecture, and all those other details, and then finding someone to operate it, then finding someone to integrate it. There are much simpler approaches today in the marketplace. But they have to have that conversation. They have to start with what benefits are they looking for, what outcomes are they looking for, and then ask the market around what solutions might fit the bill, because they can drive the cost savings and the automation in that approach.
So the traditional IT models don't work in the cloud environment?
Well, so agencies are finding that their traditional models just don't scale to the pace of demand. They have to get onto a different cost curve or cost trajectory. Their budgets are not going to go up with the amount of IT that's going on. Pretty much it's hard to find a government or even business function today that doesn't rely on IT, much different than 15 or 20 years ago when many of these IT models were developed. almost everything has an IT component, whether it's an online digital form or it's a mobile app. Our users are expecting that the data goes to where they want to work, as we discussed earlier, whether it's in a large work group or an individual making a decision. To do that, that is a big change to the core of IT and the infrastructure we have. We need new models that allow us to not only dynamically scale up and down the technical resources, but allow us to better use the people that we have. Our people are a finite resource as well, and they have a fixed skill set. CIOs and others are looking to cloud to augment their resources and not only rent or borrow or subscribe to the business functions that they need, but also the talent that is lacking in the portfolio they have today.
So with the traditional IT models that are there today and all the legacy systems, is it a rip and replace, or can the agencies take advantage of what they have while they transition over into cloud?
They absolutely can take advantage of the systems they have today. It is not a revolution, it's a little bit more of an evolution. It's a rethinking of the way you acquire new capabilities and the way you put together that function for the mission need. People are looking at a couple different flavors of cloud, but we hear hybrid tossed around quite a bit. And hybrid can be a couple things, but the two easiest ones to think about is when I take existing systems and expand or extend their capabilities with a cloud-based service, so that I'm not trying to update or increase the capacity of the old solution, but rather I'm going to augment it or add to it to get that additional business functionality that I'd like. The second use case is where folks are figuring out that they can actually subscribe to multiple services in the marketplace. So if I wanted to find resumes for a resume service and then I needed somebody to do background checks, I could connect those two services together the same way as I could go out to the marketplace and say, I'd like an analytics capability. I have internal storage, and I would like to rent some cloud storage for that peak time of the year when we get additional demand from our customers.
And previously, they talked a lot about security being an issue with cloud. I know a couple of years ago, anybody in the government was talking about cloud, no, security, security, security. What we're hearing now is the opposite. Right?
I think the security conversation has not died down in terms of gone away, but rather become more commonplace, and people are asking more advanced questions. They're also starting to trust that the standards in place that they had in-house are being delivered by the cloud providers in the marketplace. Many of these cloud providers have bet their brand on delivering a high quality of service, and they are demonstrating to the government that they can secure that data. It allows the government to decide whether they want to keep something in-house, put it out with a cloud provider, or have a combination thereof.
Thank you. That was Paul Krein, Vice President of Digital and Cloud Solutions at Red River. I'm Jeff Sessions, your host. Thank you very much. On behalf of Red River, thank you for joining us. A link to the archive session will be sent to you shortly.